Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first trading session of February 3, 2025. It is just coming on 3 o'clock in the morning over on the East Coast, and yes, I have been awake since prior to the futures opening up last night, which is why I made that one bonehead mistake, which I got rid of. But as you can see, you have had a significant gap down, and that gap is still gapped down. From where we began last night when futures opened up, we have not even recovered to that area. But what I have for you on your screens here is I have the futures, starting with the Dow on the left, the NQ second to left, the ES second to right, and on the right, the Russell 2000, the four major index futures. And as you can see, looking down on the bottom, which is my RSI indicator, they are all oversold. And the time frame that I am looking at here is the 4 hour. I'll bring you on to the 1 hour, which is what I was discussing and looking at when we were talking about this gap down last night. And your 1 hour, very clean to see, has started to recover and is starting to get that bounce. 1 hour is a shorter time frame than 4 hours. Your longer time frames take more time and have more power. But what I'm trying to give to you here is you have a dip. You have a dip. You understand you have a dip. Now what you do with this dip is your opportunity. So here we are looking at the futures, and obviously they are down, and I will move those off of the screen and bring you on to the schedule because today is a regular trading session, tariffs or no tariffs. At 9:45, we have U.S. S&P manufacturing PMI. We've got the ISM manufacturing prices paid at 10 o'clock, construction spending, 11:30, the 6-month and 3-month auctions, and then we start getting Fed speakers because the FOMC is over with. 12:30, we get Fed Bostic, after the market, Musalem, and then we get into, guess what? It's jobs this week. Not only is it jobs this week, but it is also earnings. Yes, earnings are still taking place. After the close today is that fucking pedophile piece of shit CEO at Palantir, PLTR. They will be reporting after the market close. On Tuesday, after the market close, is AMD and Alphabet, two of the three that are significant for the week. Thursday, after the market close, is Amazon. So obviously, there are a plethora of names, no major impact like what we had going last week with 4 of the big Mag 7s. But this is a big week, a very big week, because you have a lot of the medium-sized names, and you have these two big monsters, Alphabet, Amazon, AMD, 50% from its all-time highs. So let me move you on here with the S&P futures, which are currently at 59.37, down 103 points, down 1.72%. And your low of the day, which I have right over here, is 59.0840. This is significant because, as I shared with you earlier, we have 3 green weeks in a row. And although I did provide for you on Friday the February 7th trade of the week, the 6105, 6100 calls, $3 or better, which everybody got, a lot of you closed it here overnight with your Interactive Brokers accounts because it was down to 40 cents. And why not take the money off to go and get into another trade, because there will be another trade. As I said, 3 green weeks in a row. This is not based on where we closed on Friday. This is based on where we open up today. So there will be another trade of the week that will be issued for the week ending February 7th. Please do not fucking confuse it. It is not rocket science. I gave you one on Friday. You made over 100%. Now I'm giving you a new one, and it will be for this week with the same expiration, February 7th. But as well on that, as I'll go over here, the March, April, DF 440, 4045 puts, like I said, they are opened up on Friday. You had the green light. Boom, 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 boom. Go ahead. 5, you can begin a 5th play on the March, April QQQ puts without having mentioned the DIA which was already emailed out during the course of the week. And as you already knew about, was the March 21 IWM 225 puts. Anybody who decides to take profits on this, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you, okay? You are more than welcome to take profits on the trade, because what I'm about to show you will kind of give you a justification, regardless of the length of time that is on this option, that should you choose to take profits on this, you're more than welcome to go ahead and do that. So again, we are at 59.3140, down 109, 110 points, 1.82% over here on the S&P. So I will bring you onto your charts. And this is going to be a very quick message, video, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The overnight low on the SPX. SPX does not trade overnight. Thus, we have to make modifications. 59.0840 right over here is your low overnight. If you will zoom over onto the left and bring your memory back to January the 15th, after we were coming off of that big bottom, having sold off all the way down to that 57.82 from the all-time highs in December, we had our gap up. I don't remember why we had our gap up. I'll look at my notes if I need to, and it's a requirement. We had our gap up, and our gap up was over here on January the 15th. The lows of that day were 59.0521. Look at this. We came down to 59.0840. On this drop, from that 57.7331 all the way up there to the all-time highs, here is your 61.8 retracement right there. Everybody can draw it. 59.0887. It's a video game. It's nothing but a video game. So your initial dip, whatever you want to call it, however you want to justify the look of this, with two major gaps being here. We filled the peaks deep seek fucking gap last week. Here is your gap that is down here from Friday. Come on to your QQQ. Where does your QQQ drop bring you? Did not bring you to your deep seek, 502.32. You came down to 507.73. And as you know, 511 I've had for multiple months already as the big alarm level. We came down almost perfectly to the 78.6 retracement from that big low that we had down there at 499.61 on the major sell-off, coming from the all-time highs up in the 530s back in December. And our bounce, where did it retrace? It retraced to the 78.6, right there to 530.69, right over there just last week, just 2 days ago, right there on Friday. So anyway, what we have here is not a buyable dip, but a playable dip. That's why we're into those call credit spreads for today. I'll show you those in a second. Here's your IWM. IWM coming off of that big drop down to 213.93. Massive sell-off from the 240s. Your bounce up to 230. Your beautiful invitation to go and buy those puts at 229.50. That's what you had there again on Friday. Recommendation was to buy the 227 puts for February 7th. Right over here. You had your breakdown below that on Friday. Well, here you are. Right on down to 218. And it is very, very difficult, which I'll show you in a second, to have IWM stay below 220. Come on to your IWM chart, because if you are trading IWM, you damn well better be doing your own homework and doing this. As you can see here, your lows for the year, just looking at the year, you do get dips below 220. You do get them. But it's very, very, very difficult to be getting a close below 220. Go back into last year, same thing. One dip there in December 19th, below 220. To close below 220 is what I mean. Couple of dips below 220, but you're closing above 220. And the closing above 220 has been taking place for the better part of the last 4 months, going all the way back to mid-October. You can go back prior to that, and that was when we were getting our dips down below 220, down below 210. So again, IWM, if you're going to be trading it, I hope that you are doing your homework. And more importantly, I am glad that all of you who have the February 7, 227 puts will be making bank today. So now I bring you over onto your DIA. And your DIA, again, as mentioned, the 445, 440 puts going out to March, going out to April. It's set up. Set you up with that last week, middle of the week. Bang, right to 450, 450.79, 450.65 is what you got there on Friday. And where is your dip? Your dip is dead smack to the deep seek dip from a week ago and right to the 38.2 retracement from your big lows down here from the major, massive sell-off from those all-time highs from back there in the beginning of, or the end of last year. So again, you've got your dip. Your dip is there. And this is why I have issued for you, and I will bring you onto that screen to make it simple. I have issued for you two different spreads. You have your safest risk spread, being the 58.95 puts, 5900 puts, which are $52. And you have your riskiest risk, playing that 59.55, 59.60 puts, getting anywhere from $3 to $4 credit. So I want to wish you all the greatest of starts to your month. I hope that I proved something with what I shared with you with the January review. And if I can just make one more notation over here. In the chat room, we've got multiple different channels. And one of the channels here is the Newbie Questions channel. This is a channel for newbie members or newbie traders to ask a question to understand how something works, why something works, how to do something. It is not a social platform to be going out there and waving to each other and saying hello and sharing fucking, monkey AK-47 videos. We got a channel over here called the Social Channel. You can go over there and you can post all the fucking stuff that you want to talk about. Your flag is better than the other flag. This syrup is better than that syrup. These eggs are cheaper than those eggs. Do whatever the fuck you want to do in the social corner, but keep the noise away from what everybody's got going on. Because what I think that 99% of you really don't get is what is actually behind these tariffs that Trump is doing. It's got nothing to do with country to country. You have no fucking idea. And like 5 years ago when COVID happened and I was trying to tell everybody, it's a fucking cold. That's all that it is. Don't get vaccinated. Don't fall for this shit. What happened? Took you 5 years, but I showed you that I was right. So anyway, enjoy your morning, enjoy your day, enjoy every single thing about the start of the month of February. Don't forget Valentine's Day is in 2 weeks on Friday. And let's make some money.